Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom.
Hey, it's our issue unit, and we're back for day 2. We talked about the ongoing debate over animal testing on day 1, and we're back today to continue talking about some of the revelations or the secrets that have been unveiled about really inhumane experiments being done on animals, and they're pretty awful. I have one to share with everybody that just makes no sense at all. We're going to talk about some of the countries that have banned animal testing on particular products like cosmetic products that are just supposed to make you look better, to beautify you. I don't think we need to be hurting animals for that stuff, but everybody has their own opinion, I think.
They do, so let's dive right into our lesson right now by listening to our article read completely, and then we'll come back to talk about it. When revelations of inhumane experiments and the terrible conditions animals are kept in surface, it becomes clear that not all animal research is conducted with necessary or humane considerations. Consequently, a growing number of animal protection advocates are demanding an end to these practices. In response to intensifying public pressure, a myriad of regulations and guidelines have been implemented globally to oversee animal testing practices. Notably, the 3 R's principle, reduction, refinement, replacement, has been established as a global norm within the scientific community. This approach encourages avoiding animal testing wherever alternatives exist and mandates minimizing the number of animals used in experiments to reduce suffering. Meanwhile, the UK banned animal testing for cosmetic products in 1998, and the European Union enacted a ban on the sale of cosmetics tested on animals in 2013. Taiwan implemented similar regulations in 2019, prohibiting animal testing for cosmetic products and ingredients. Furthermore, scientific breakthroughs have fostered the development of innovative techniques that might soon render animal testing obsolete. Prominent among these is organs-on-a-chip technology, which replicates human organ functions on microchips, facilitating detailed studies without the use of animal subjects. Another significant advancement is computer modeling, which employs sophisticated simulations to predict human reactions to new drugs. These innovations not only accelerate the research process, but also significantly decrease reliance on animal subjects. Yet, for all the progress made, the harsh reality is that countless animals are still subjected to experiments annually. As viable alternatives continue to face numerous challenges, it falls upon us, as members of the public, to persist in raising awareness about animal testing and to monitor developments in technology and regulations. Let's hope that soon the use of animals in research will be remembered only as a thing of the past.
Let's dive in, guys. Take a look at the first sentence here. We've got a vocabulary word right there at the beginning of that sentence. When revelations of inhumane experiments and the terrible conditions animals are kept in surface or, come to the surface or are revealed, it becomes clear that not all animal research is conducted with necessary or humane considerations. This is so true. A guy who was in charge of the CDC in America was exposed for conducting horrible, inhumane experiments on dogs
for
no purpose. No purpose. So, yeah, he put these cute beagles, their heads in a box, and he put them out in the desert, and their faces were picked to death by different little bugs. For what reason, he never could answer, but we need to be following up on what people are doing in the name of science to see if it's really necessary. Obviously, some of these revelations are horrifying to good people. A revelation is when you have a usually secret or even surprising fact that's revealed or made known that people didn't know before. We used that word inhumane and humane earlier in day 1. To be humane is to be kind or gentle, to people or animals. If you're inhumane, adding that IN in front of that word means the opposite. So inhumane means you are not kind or gentle to people or animals. For example, you'll often read about whether prison guards are inhumane or humane to the prisoners being kept in prisons. You'll see that a lot.
Right. So this sentence is quite long. When revelations, blah, 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 surface. So the basic sentence is when revelations surface. Everything in between there is just giving you more information. So when these revelations surface, when we get new information, it becomes clear that not all animal research is conducted with necessary or humane considerations. So basically, we just get to see that some people are just being cruel to animals for the sake of being cruel to animals.
Yeah, they're sadistic. They're horrible.
Right. These things surface. They come up. And why are you doing that? Is it necessary to do that to animals to find out if this particular perfume smells good or something? And some people just do that. They just are cruel to animals, I guess, because they're insecure in their own lives or something like that.
And sometimes these experiments are conducted on people knowing they won't lead to anything. So be on the watch out, be on the lookout for this stuff.
Right. So again, it's inhumane. It's just not something we're supposed to do as human beings. And consequently, or as a result, a growing number of animal protection advocates are demanding an end to these practices. So yes, as a consequence to all these revelations of people being unnecessarily cruel to animals, we've got a growing number of animal protection advocates. And an advocate, of course, is somebody who is in favor of a particular policy and they work hard to get people to accept it. These are animal protection advocates, people who are fighting for the ethical treatment of animals. They're demanding an end to these practices. You don't need to do this to animals. Stop doing it. It's unnecessary to be so cruel to animals.
Okay, moving on to the second paragraph, it says, in response to intensifying public pressure. Let's just stop with that, this first part of the sentence. When you intensify something, that's a verb. It means you make it stronger or you make it more extreme or it becomes more intense. Of course, you can see the word intense in the verb intensify. So you could say, oh, the fighting has intensified on the battlefield, or we could hear the wind howling outside as the storm intensified. The wind will often be described on TV news shows like, oh, the wind intensified and now it's at, 99 miles per hour or what have you. So, yeah, there was intensifying public pressure. People found out about these revelations and they said, hey, this needs to stop right now.
Right. So, of course, we got intensified public pressure and we've got a myriad of regulations, which means a lot of regulations. They have been implemented globally to oversee animal testing practices. So to implement something just means to put something in action. You pass a law and then you start enforcing the law. You are implementing the new law. We've got regulations and guidelines, and they're doing this all over the world because of the pressure of these advocates. And yes, indeed, they're doing this to oversee animal testing practices to make sure people are not being unnecessarily cruel to animals. Notably, the 3 R's principle, which is reduction, refinement, and replacement, has been established as a global norm within the scientific community. So notably here means something that you should pay attention to. This is something that is a good example of what we just mentioned. And we have this 3 R's principle, which are 3 words that all begin with R: reduction, refinement, and replacement. So reduction, of course, means getting a number smaller, making it less in amount. And refinement means to make something better, getting rid of the bad parts of something. And replacement just means getting rid of the old thing and replacing it with something new.
Yeah, refinement here as this idea of making something, I guess, more pure than it was before. It's a non-count noun, but it can be countable sometimes if you're talking about different things you do to a product to make it better. Oh, we made some refinements to our car engine, so it runs better now. Or we made some refinements to our new cell phone, and it's even more powerful than it was before. But here we're just talking about this idea of taking out impure things or things that are wrong with something and making it even better. sometimes we remove unwanted substances from something as we are working on that process of refinement. You can use refinement with the refinement of our testing methods, the refinement of our teaching methods, things like that. But don't put an S on that. That's just the idea of refining something. So yeah, notably, the 3 R's principle, it's been established as a global norm. Norm means a normal standard of practice, something that people expect to have happen. It doesn't happen everywhere, but we're trying to get it established around the globe, everywhere that we can, within the scientific community. Sadly enough, I noticed that the U.S. is not on this list yet, but I'm not surprised.
Indeed, Americans love their meat and their animals, so of course they're going to continue this practice with animals. I suppose it's not surprising to me as an American, but in any case, we've got the 3 R's principle: reduction, reducing the amount of animals that are experimented on; refinement, getting better information through experimentation and relying on animals less; and then replacement, not doing it on animals at all, finding another way to test these products. And that, of course, is the global norm. It's just basically what people are doing all over the world. And this approach encourages avoiding animal testing whenever alternatives exist and mandates minimizing the number of animals used in experiments to reduce suffering. So yes, they want to avoid animal testing when it isn't necessary. When you have an alternative, you can test the drug on something else, maybe on plants or something, or on volunteers or whatever. And of course, you also want to minimize or reduce the amount of suffering that animals have to go through.
Yeah, mandate, if you need a reminder, just means it's an official requirement or demand from the government to do something. So yeah, hopefully this will continue to be implemented around the world. You can see here that we've got, for example, the UK banned animal testing for cosmetic products back in 1998. To ban something, here we're using it as a verb, just means you forbid people from doing something or using something or even saying something. The school sometimes will ban certain books, or maybe you're in an area where smoking has been banned in your buildings outside, in public buildings. So yeah, this just tells us that at least in the UK, they have actually gone forward with this. They've banned animal testing for cosmetic products. Cosmetic refers to things that are used in order to improve a person's appearance. It doesn't have to be a makeup. It doesn't even have to be a nice cream. It could be like braces that will improve someone's teeth and their smile. There are lots of different cosmetic things we use these days to make ourselves look more beautiful. It could be a medical procedure. It could be a cream or an oil. But right now, we know for sure that the UK has banned animal testing for these sorts of products. That happened back in 1998.
Right. Of course, they're still going to come out with these products, but of course, they're going to stop experimenting on animals in order to produce those products. And the same thing happened in the EU. They enacted a ban. They passed it in their legislature. And this is a ban on the sale of cosmetics tested on animals, and they did this in 2013. We'll talk about what happened in Taiwan in just a couple of seconds, but right now we're going to take a break and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, 我是派老师。今天讲解的是10月25号 Unit 15 The Ongoing Debate over Animal Testing Day 2。这个单元讨论的是动物实验这个议题。前一天的课文内容分别呈现了支持者和反对者的观点，而今天的课文内容告诉我们，动物实验因为人道的相关争议，许多政府已经制定了法令和规范，要求业者要遵循。此外，随着科技进展，动物实验已经有了替代方案，包括运用晶片科技模拟人体器官功能。好，我们一起来看学习重点吧。请同学看到第一段的第一个句子 When revelations of inhumane experiments 这边。好，这里呢，请同学先注意一下这个断句，因为呢主词是比较长的，其实从 revelations 一直到 in 这个部分呢，其实是主词。好 ，surface 才是动词。那这一长串是主词， 它所指的就是像不人道的实验，还有呢动物饲养在很糟糕的条件之下。那这些事情、这些真相曝光的时候，这 service 它所指的呢就是曝光。好，那再来我们看到第二个句子，因此有越来越多动保人士呢，他们就要求 an end to these practice。 这里的 an end to 那所指的就是这些做法不能再这么做了。再来请同学看到第二段第一个句子，那前面 intensifying public pressure 指的当然就是舆论的压力日益升高，那催生了许多规范 a myriad of regulations 所指的就是有很多的规范就因此呢制定了产生了。那后面是有一个目的，就是 to oversee animal testing practices。 请同学把 oversee 画起来，这里的 oversee 就是监督，它有个名词叫 oversight， 请同学特别注意oversight O-V-E-R-S-I-G-H-T。 再来请同学看到第二个句子，这里告诉我们就是到底有什么样的规范，大致上就是 3R 3R 的原则，就是 reduction, refinement, replacement 减少、改善、替代。好，那再来呢请同学看到第三个句子，要请同学特别注意的是 and 后面的这个动词， This approach mandates minimizing the number of animals。 这里 mandate 那当然就是一种规范要求，它是会要求说业者要尽量的减少使用这些动物的数量。好，那再来请同学看到第四个句子，不同国家的做法。英国呢有禁止，它是在1998年的时候就说动物实验不可以用来做生产这个化妆品之用。再来欧盟也有相关类似的禁令，是在2013年颁布的。 The EU enacted a ban， 请同学把 enacted a ban 画起来，动词用的是 enacted。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about the ongoing debate over animal testing. And we learned that when people hear about some of the terrible conditions animals are kept in, or some of the horrible experiments that animals are required to go under as they go through these animal testing trials that scientists run, that they're horrified and they really are upset.If you're upset about something your government's doing, what do? You get in touch with your representatives. You let your opinion be known. You let your feelings be known. Well, those revelations have made people pretty upset about it. So there are a growing number of animal protection advocates who are demanding putting an end to these practices. They don't want this stuff to go on any longer.Well,
we're up to Taiwan now. What did Taiwan do about this issue? Well, Taiwan implemented similar regulations in 2019, just a few years ago, prohibiting animal testing for cosmetic products and ingredients. So here in Taiwan, of course, there is an industry which produces cosmetics for people. And of course, you need ingredients for those cosmetics. And they decided, no, we're not going to experiment on animals.To produce these products, we'll do it some other way. So good on you, Taiwan. Here they joined the UK and the EU in this regard. And moving on to the next paragraph here, it says, furthermore, or in addition, also, scientific breakthroughs have fostered the development of innovative techniques that might soon render animal testing obsolete. So some people might be thinking, yeah, do we absolutely have to rely on animals to test our products? Can't we do it a different way?Can't we use a computer for that? Or can't we create artificial creatures? Or can we use AI for that? And yes, they're saying that some of these innovative techniques, these new techniques that have not been done before, they might render animal testing obsolete. So if something's obsolete, it's too old to use anymore. It's useless. If you have a computer and you want to run Win98 on that computer, well, it's not going to work because Win98 is obsolete. They no longer support it. Computers won't be able to use it. Or if you want to use, say, Commodore computers or something like that these days. It's just not possible. They are obsolete. Nobody uses them anymore.
I bet our listeners have never heard of Commodore computers.
Yeah, that's going way back.
Yeah. I wanted to mention this word render simply means to make. So that might soon make animal testing obsolete. As Tom said, obsolete means no longer used because newer editions or some newer product or version exists. So yeah, we often talk about how some particular technology has made something else obsolete. Which is happening very quickly these days because of our high tech that just is changing our world every few months. It seems like things are changing so fast. So what are we talking about? Well, prominent or well-known among these scientific breakthroughs is something called organs on a chip technology. Organs on a chip. Organs meaning heart, lungs, liver, things like that, the organs in our body.
That sounds like a snack you might get in a night market or something like that.
It's gross. So yeah, what is this? Well, this particular technology replicates or copies human organ functions, but it does so on a microchip. People in Taiwan all know what microchips are. That's how we make so much of our money here. It's a group of tiny electronic circuits that work together on a really small piece of hard material called silicon or silicon. It's pronounced both ways. You might have heard of a place in California called Silicon Valley or Silicon Valley. I think that's about 50-50. I hear silicon and silicon both.
I think silicon is the American pronunciation. Silicon, I think, is the British one. They say pentagon and things like that.
Oh, that's weird, huh?
But yeah, we tend to say gon, pentagon. Silicon, etc. But in any case here, yes, it's using technology, and it's something called organs on a chip, and it replicates human organ functions. It basically copies them or recreates their functions in a different way, and they do this with microchips. It sounds to me that they're doing this inside the computer, basically.
Yeah.
And that facilitates or makes something easier. It facilitates detailed studies without the use of animal subjects. So basically, they can use supercomputers to come up with some good results. Hopefully, those results will be accurate and maybe even better than the results we get through animal experimentation.
Of course, another one is computer modeling, which I think is more, it's been around longer, so more of us have heard of computer modeling. What does it do? It employs or uses sophisticated simulations to predict human reactions to new drugs. Here we're talking about sophisticated, meaning really highly developed and complex. And if you're talking about a simulation, it's something that makes something look and feel or behave like something else. And it's used usually to help people study. For example, if you want to be a pilot, we have flight simulators or flight simulations. You sit down and you work on this piece of equipment that makes it feel like you're actually flying an airplane. So computer modeling's really been used for a while. So it's sophisticated. It's really complex and very, very highly developed, you could say.
Right. So they're not using the drugs directly, but they are predicting how humans would react to these new drugs. And these innovations, these new inventions, not only accelerate the research process, but also significantly decrease reliance on animal subjects. So these are innovations, new ideas, and they're accelerating the research process. They're speeding it up, and they're giving us results faster. It may take a long time for animals to grow to a certain age, or you give it this particular drug, and then you got to wait 3 or 4 years to see what happens after that. That takes a long time. So we've got these innovations that will speed up the process, and then it will decrease our reliance on animal subjects. Reliance just means how we need something, how we're dependent on them, and eventually we just won't need those animals anymore. Those animals will be free to roam the face of the earth.
Right. Reliance could be used to talk about Taiwan's reliance on the microchip industry for our own economy. But here we're going to try to diminish or decrease reliance on animal subjects by using these new high-tech methods. Yet for all the progress made, the harsh reality is that countless animals are still subjected to experiments annually as viable alternatives. Viable means it's possible to be successful. These alternatives continue to face numerous challenges. It falls upon us, it's our responsibility as members of the public to persist or continue to raise awareness about animal testing and to monitor developments in technology and regulations. If the public lets science or our government get away with things that are immoral or bad, they'll keep doing it because it's easy. It's what they've always done. So we need the public to step up, be informed, and to raise awareness so that we can protect humans and animals both.
And let's hope that soon the use of animals in research will be remembered only as a thing of the past. And as we said earlier, maybe it will become obsolete. We won't need to use it anymore. And so those animals will be freed up, and then we can basically kill them and eat them instead of experiment on them.
I'm not eating monkeys. Sorry, Tom.
Some people may actually feast on them. I don't know. But I guess in the future we might talk about relying on animals less and less by making all of us vegetarians. But that is another subject for another day.
It's not good for everybody's health. We know that.
Yeah, that's another subject that's very controversial.
Yeah.
But we're just going to stick with the topic today, which is all about experimenting on animals. Yes, is it ethical or not? And in the future, of course, it sounds like we'll be able to rely less and less on animals for those experiments. And hopefully AI will come up with some new solutions to the various problems we have, cancer and heart disease, etc. So yeah, we wish you all the best of luck with that. And that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Here comes our Chinese teacher.
那我们前面讲到了，像英国、欧盟，他们都颁布禁令嘛。They enacted a ban, right? 那台湾有没有类似的法规？有，是2019年台湾也实施了类似的法规 ，implemented similar regulations。动词呢就是用 implement。好，再来，请同学看到第3段的部分。好，第一个句子 ，Furthermore, scientific breakthroughs have fostered。那因为科技不断的进展嘛，现在有一些科技的进展，让我们有一些创新的方法。不一定要用动物实验来做 foster the development of 这个 foster 是很常见的动词，也很好用，是促进创新的方法，创新科技的开发。那开发了这些科技技术之后可以怎么样呢？ That might soon render animal testing obsolete. Render 后面加一个受词，再加一个形容词，这个形容词呢就当前面的受词的补语 obsolete 等于是过时的。那到时候有了这些新的科技之后，再用动物实验就会显得过时。好，再来请同学呢看到第2个句子。第2个句子呢也是倒装的句子，它把补语放到前面了。Prominent among these is organs on a chip technology. 这 organs on a chip technology 是主词，那可是呢它把这个补语放到最前面，其中有一项最有名的、最突出的，大家注意到的就是呢，它用晶片来复制人体器官的功能去模拟做试验。还有另外一项这个科技的进展，就是 computer modeling 电脑建模的方式，也可以当作呢动物实验的替代。好，那再来呢，要请同学看到的是第4段的句子了。请同学看到第4段第2个句子。As viable alternatives continue to face numerous challenges, viable alternatives, so viable 指的就是可行的，有可行的替代方案。那接下来呢，它还是一样，这些替代方案呢，当然会有不同的挑战。It falls upon us， 请同学把 it falls upon us 画起来，就责任就掉到我们身上，也就是我们有责任去做什么事情。那为什么我们有责任？因为我们是公共的一群，我们是社会的一份子。我们要做什么呢？ Persist in raising awareness， 所以我们要坚持 persist in。那后面呢要加 VING， 要让大家更了解动物实验到底是怎么一回事。Raising awareness about animal testing。好，那最后一句呢，我们看得出来作者的立场其实不希望动物实验的。因为毕竟还是会伤害这些动物，无辜动物的生命。Let's hope that soon the use of animals in research will be remembered only as a thing of the past， 就成为过去，不再有人做动物实验了。好，以上就是我们针对动物实验第2天内容所做的中文讲解，谢谢大家 ，See you next time.
That's it, guys. Thanks for joining us. And if you have some extra time, we recommend you go to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel and learn some more and do even better on your tests or on whatever you're studying English for. We hope you have lots of success in the future. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Bye.